Hi there folks, got a job on my hands today doing a little repair on this coracle. I didn't make this coracle, it belongs to the Duke of Grafton and I used it in a recent piece of television filming I was on. But such things, sometimes they have the nature of sort of biodegrading and falling apart. I've been meaning to get to this for a few weeks, but one thing and another I haven't had the chance yet, and it's not going to be as easy as it might look because all the leather is really hard as it naturally rawhides onto the frame, and all the wood is broken at the front. So first thing to do is try and release the rawhide from the actual wood and then cut away the broken pieces and then rebuild it. Bit of a job, huh? So this is called the Little Ouse, this river, and here's the boat down here. I've just submerged the front end and it's not going to be light. And hopefully that's all going to be nice and soft up the front. Well, that's definitely a changed environment, and I should be able to move all that back now. And incidentally, I've come down here, so what I've done is I've got some other skins. This is a big old red. Oh, he is a big boy, isn't he? And that's going in the river. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to float the hair off and try and make some buckskin with that. Thought I'd get the shorts on because the sun shines out. Anyway, the job in hand. Interesting thing is, I've literally got to find out how this was put together, because remember I didn't make it, and it's going to be a tough old thing, which you'd think to yourself, well, from the capacity of filming something, that's quite tricky because it would be very boring to watch. I'm going to be fiddling more than doing, and there's going to be quite a bit of that. But while I was sort of thinking about getting this started, I was also thinking about the boat itself. So this is not really, as much as it looks like a prehistoric boat, and it does go back in time, it was predated originally by the dugout canoe. You imagine chopping down a massive great big tree and then hollowing that out to create a boat. That would be a big job. That's one undone. And it's a job that I intend to do sometime. Never done it yet. Now, I do have skin, but I think I may have to consider cutting this. But life in the water is so much different to life on the land, and there's a lot of people that already know that. It's a slower pace of life, and you can naturally get a lot closer to the animals. And but one of the things that a boat gives you is it gives you permission to carry your world on your back. And when you're literally carrying that through the woods, there can be a lot of weight. But in a boat like this, believe it or not, that will you know, there's not enough room to fit them in, but you could get 4 people in this, and it's not going down, it will float. In fact, it helps to stabilise it. So you can imagine that basically you've got a trunk at the back there. You could have all your clothes, all your food, and now you can get some distance going. And suddenly you've got a highway. You think about prehistoric man moving across the land, and there's no roads and there's no paths. A river had a value because it was about the only flat thing that was available. It came with its dangers, obviously, because nothing's certain. You know, you could be travelling down a river and suddenly you hit a waterfall, and that's a brand new problem all by itself, particularly if you haven't got control of it. Here we go, look, we're starting to get some movement now. But one of the things that I continually bump into is the whole thing about the journey and mankind's his moment of achievements. And when we talk about that, what we're really talking about is, can you imagine the actual exhalation of success? You've taken a massive cow skin, and they would have had part of the memory of taking that. So in its day it would have been an oryx or a big animal that's provided to the family. You know, we've known everything about it. And then on this occasion, this guy's used like a larch lattice, but that would have involved weaving and the knowledge of what timbers are capable of doing what, and creating that environment before finally putting it together, getting on the river and setting off on a long journey. And I think that there would have been a great measure of success going on in that person, because that was a personal achievement. Hey, this is what I needed, getting back behind that lot. It's been amazing to be in a time where you didn't just go to the shop and order what you needed. The way things were done is you relied upon one thing: yourself. You would struggle, toil, sweat, and put your tears into what you were doing, but the eventuality is you become self-capable. And that's something that, as you enter into a mindset of looking back at people from the past, God, that you get clear about. And it might have been the first journey you went on in a little skim boat down the river, but then you could start thinking to yourself, well, okay, we know we can go down the river, but what about across the ocean? Well, that was available too, and to do that you need a bigger boat, and then you've got to start stitching skins together. But not only have you got to stitch them together, you've got to stitch them together in a waterproof way. And one of the books I have back home is called The Sinews of Survival, and it's a book which was developed or put together from the Inuit community, and they talk about waterproof stitching, and it's all clever stuff. You can start rolling leather, so you end up with two combined things, and then you can stitch in such a fashion where you don't go all the way through, but what you do is you go halfway through and you turn around and you come back. And that's how they were stitching gut parkas together and things like that, and achieving it, because these people weren't suggesting that they were going to attempt to do stuff. The difference was they were succeeding, they were actually doing it. So it was the arrival of an idea and then manifesting the idea into reality and actually doing these things. And that's what we're talking about. We're dealing with some pretty amazing people. So you can see, let's look at this, call this a rib cage, it's all broken. I've got to restore that. So you think to yourself, well, how are you going to restore it? Because it's all snapped. What are you going to do? You're just going to lash it all back together? No. What I'm literally going to do is I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to actually cut through all of these and take the whole front of the rib cage out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let's remember this is a cut board. These are cut larches, right? It's been made by the maker with nails, so we're not walking through a primitive window. And from a primitive perspective, basically what I'd have to do is take the whole skin off and start the whole new frame to achieve it. So I'm going to use pot rivets basically, and the idea that I've got is I'm going to get some. I've got some timber which is like this, a bit like a bow and arrow, right? And then cut these. And I'm going to do a couple of pot rivets everywhere, and we're going to rebuild that whole thing. That's the plan. Well, I've had quite an afternoon with this. I was going to be riveting it all up, and I only had half the amount of wood I needed, so I had to set off home, go and cut some more wood, which I've been using some hickory for, same stuff we put on the front of the longbows, and with a lot of shunting about, we've put it back together. And now I need to get it down to the river because this has all gone hard, rock hard again, so it's got to be re-soaked, and then we can stitch it back onto the front. And the Duke can have his boat back. Well, it's all fixed, so it's time to get it down to the river. As you can imagine, it's not the lightest boat in the world. So, better get started, eh? Time for truth then, hey? I know this river's really silty down here. And they get a little bit muddy. Ooh. It's a little bit chilly too. So like I was saying, I didn't make this boat. I've just repaired it. And if I had have made it, it would be a lot different to what you're looking at now, or quite different anyway. For starters, I personally wouldn't have added a seat into it, but I do get that bit. It's all about getting some confidence in the balance, isn't it? Right, tally ho, me lovers. Right, what I've got to do is learn to do sculling, which is like a figure 8 at the front. Anyone who's proficient in that would tell me I'm doing it wrong, but it doesn't matter. That feels good. Feels great. That's literally going back in time, isn't it? So the boat that I owned, or made previously to sitting in this, was eaten by the rats. And just sitting here right now tells me I need to get on with the next one. And in my freezer I've got a giant water buffalo skin, so look out for that, eh?